Hey, as a beginner, there's 3 things you absolutely must know prior to getting in the industry or right when you get into the insurance industry. Okay, the 3 things, I'm going to roll through each one, and I'm telling you, I had success and made $117,361.13 at 20 while in college and playing basketball because I knew these things. I at least learned them pretty quick, and I actually adopted them, and I put them into place. And the first one is you need to be able to set a target. A goal, a target. Most successful people, I would say all successful people really, they don't go into something and have success without actually premeditated, pre-planned success. So I want to ask you, as you jump into this venture, what's your what's your target? What's your goal? What do you want to do? And I would say it needs to be a little more predefined than, hey, I just want to make $100,000 my first year, or I'm making $48,000 working down the street. I'd love to make 50. Right? Let's have some specifics about that. And what most people don't realize is when I was an agent, yes, my goal was to make 100K, right? And I went into a recruiting meeting and the manager had us all stand up and then said, okay, take a look around. Then he had everybody but one person sit down. And then he said, maybe one of you will make it. In that moment, I actually set a goal, a target. I wrote it down and I said, I will earn $100,000 my first year in the insurance business. Not I may, or I hope, or I will, maybe, probably, think I will. No. I will earn $100,000 my first year in the insurance business. I dated it, I signed it, and I put it up on the wall in my cubicle. And then every day I went out to make that a reality. From cold calling and cold door knocking, the hardest way to do it. But I had success because I set a target for myself. So I want to challenge you as you're taking notes, as we're deciding for you right now what you want to do. I want to encourage you to set a target. I'm telling you, this will pay off for you. Number 1, set a target. If you need to pause and write it down as we work through this workbook style today, then do that, because I want you to have a target before we continue. Okay, so now we've got a target. Excellent. Second, know your numbers. I'm big on knowing your numbers. Now, what does that mean? Well, for me, $100,000, it was $2,000 a week. It was $400 per business day. How do I make $400 today, tomorrow, and the next day? But to go even further, I knew that I needed to, I made about $400 to $500 of commission per sale, me personally. I don't know what it is for you, but this was me a decade ago. And because of that, I needed 5 sales a week. $2,000 a week divided by the amount of commission you make per sale, bam, I needed 5 sales. So I followed the set, sit, sell model. I call it the triple S system. Set 15 appointments to hopefully sit with 10 and actually sit and give presentations to 10 people. Now it could be over the phone either way, right? And then then hope to sell 5 of the 10 from the 15 that was set. So set 15 appointments, sit with 10 appointments, ask 10 to buy, and actually close 5 sales. Now that could be 4 appointments and then one's a couple where you get 2 sales, right? Again, I knew that when I actually sat with 10, I was going to sell my 5 every week, or at least pretty freaking close. So for me, it was all about knowing my numbers because I wanted to break it down, right? And so I want you to break your numbers down so that you know what you need to do. And I used to write down, I will earn $200,000 this week. Every week on Sunday nights, I would prep. I would write things down. I would take this thing seriously. And some of you are going to hear this and it's going to you're not going to write it down and take it seriously. I'm telling you, for a target to happen, for a goal to happen, for those numbers that you set and that you now know of what you need to do every single week, because you're going to break it down in a weekly system, because you can have one good week here, one good week here, one good week here. You can string together a phenomenal year 1 week at a time. Because a year, big goal, semi-annual, quarter, I was like, it's 3 months, a month, okay, that's cool. But week, if I can win the week this week, I can win the week next week. If I can win the week next week, I can win the whole stinking year, okay? So as you're starting to do that, you need to know your numbers. It's super important that you actually know those. Number 3, for tips, is you need to have prospecting methods, and you need to be prepared to go out and prospect, to see people. The biggest question for you right now is, how are you going to get in front of people? And yes, I cold called and cold door knocked, which is the hardest way to go. Not easy. I didn't even use leads. Now, there are other systems that you can use, and I've even got a course on this over at training.codyaskins.com on Insurance Agent Prospecting 101. you need to figure out, it's a 2 or 3 hour course, but you need to figure out what are your prospecting methods going to be. Because you don't want to go into each week like it's a roller coaster or a wave, but and you don't know what to do this week. It needs to be specific. You need to walk into the week knowing I am going to do this week. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's the success I'm going to have, and here's how I'm going to get it done. The more organized and prepared you can be, the better, right? Not so prepared that you're like, hey, I'm not going to do anything until I know everything, because you got to take action now. You got to take some action. You got to be active. You got to put forth the activity. You got to put in a lot of activity to hopefully see future results, right? But what are those prospecting methods for you? I always recommend that the insurance agents have 3 prospecting methods their first year. And this is going to change over time, and it's never going to be perfect or specific or whatever. But one is you need to be focused on specifically your warm market, friends, family, etc. If you love them, care about them, and believe in what you're selling, you'll do this anyway, right? Some of you are going to be like, dude, I'm turning the video off. I ain't talking to my friends about insurance. Well, then you don't actually believe in what you're selling yet. That's okay. Maybe someday, okay? After warm market, which I made tens of thousands of dollars off of my very first year at warm market, then you need some type of way that you're getting leads every week. For me, maybe you're buying leads from a vendor. Maybe you're working with security agent marketing, and we're generating leads at cost for you. One of my companies, I don't know. But for me, it was I had call nights, and every Monday night I would invite college kids over to the office. I would pay them $10 per appointment for the first 2 appointments, $20 for the third appointment and every appointment after. I'd give them a chair, cubicle, phone, script, data list. I would call with them. I'd walk around. I'd get everybody jacked up and excited. I'd train them. I'd buy them all pizza. I would pass around gift cards as they went throughout the night. I would give an extra $100, or maybe an extra $20, I think it was, to the top person of the night that set the most of appointments. And we'd have me and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people all making calls to book me appointments, cold calling about final expense life insurance. And we would cold call and we'd book appointments, and I'd walk out of there a lot of times with sometimes only 6, 8, 10 appointments, but always at least that. And then some weeks I'd walk out of there with 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 appointments. My whole week would be booked. That was my way of having a consistent lead flow. I created the lead flow myself, which is that's an option. That's okay. Maybe it's direct mail leads. Maybe it's digital leads. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's telemarketing leads. I don't know what it is for you, but you need a consistent lead flow. And why do you need a consistent lead flow? Because you need people to talk to every week. And if you're going to set 15 appointments every single week, you got to have some stuff circulating. Okay, so that's a second prospecting method that I always recommend. The third is you need some type of third activity driver, that I'm going to go door knock, or I'm going to work a networking group, or I'm going to go ask for referrals, or I'm going to go do this. For me, the activity, the fill-in, when I didn't know what to do, because that's going to happen as a new insurance agent. It's a big tip. It's when it happens, please do something. I promise you it'll pay off. When you're warm market, you're not working warm market, or you're not working leads, or it's a Friday and you're worked through your warm market for the week, your hit list on that because you created a top 100, 200, whatever, and you're hitting it up. Or maybe it's the, as far as the leads, call night for me. Maybe we booked appointments on Monday night for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I don't have anything on Friday. I would actually go and I'd go drive to like a senior housing facility or some area, and I would door knock for 50 doors, 60 doors, 80 doors, sometimes 125 in a day. That was my way of filling the activity. And some of you are like, dude, there's no way in heck I'm doing that. I'm telling you, it is extremely crucial and important and beneficial for you to fill it with activity, and door knocking works for a lot of people. It doesn't have to be one of yours, but you need 3 different prospecting methods so that you can hit your weekly numbers. Because when you know your numbers, you start hitting your numbers, you have a better chance of actually hitting that long-term goal that you have laid out for yourself. So these are the 3 tips that you must know as you get into the insurance industry. How many clients do you have?
We're close to about 3,000 clients.
3,000?
Yeah.
If you had to start over today, okay, you had to completely start over, how fast could you get back to 3,000 clients with what you know today?
With what I know today, maybe 3 years.
Wow.
4 years.